And welcome to the Soil Inventory Talk Show. My name is Grace Reiro, a farmer and an agronomist. I'm so glad that you had time and chance to be here and have this discussion with me. Today we'll be discussing about climate change, its effects to agriculture. We'll have a brief introduction to it. Then onto our next videos, we'll have various young people passionate about the environment, passionate about farming, agronomists who have been here before, so that we can have this detailed discussion. I hope you learn a thing or two. When we're speaking about climate change, I think it's a long shift from the normal temperatures, the normal rainfall patterns, the normal weather that we are used to, and this has been happening over time. Right now, it's a disaster that we have here with us, but it has been happening over time, majorly because of our human activities, cutting down of trees, burning of fossil fuels like the coal, and also agriculture also is a contributor to climate change, where we have the greenhouse gases. But even as we touch on the causes of climate change, these are just but a few, but majorly it's cutting down of trees, change in temperature and rainfall, especially now that I am a passionate farmer. And I know one of the things that farmers do, they rely a lot on rainfall. Now that we, especially here, reliability on rainfall, on seasons, and having climate change here with us, that means the seasons are no longer reliable. The rainfalls fail. That means some of the seasons fail and they pass by when farmers have not even planted, because when the rains fail at the beginning of the season, farmers tend to sit back and just wait for the next season to happen. Really interfered with the food production, because most of the farmers here, especially those that I interact with, are dependent on the rains and on the end of the seasons. So that means if the rains fail, the farmers also fail to have a complete season with them. When we have floods, that means the food is destroyed in the fields. When we have long periods of drought, that means there is no food production. And having now that we are championing and also recommending climate smart agriculture, but before then, even before it's adopted, we have seen low production of food. We have seen many people just going away from agriculture, because at times you do not see why you'd venture into a business that does not seem to be so productive. But even as we say how we are going to capture this climate change, and also just having a shift, and also just coping with it as it is now, one of the things is climate smart agriculture, and where we recommend conservation agriculture, as we have been discussing before, agroforestry, which is a major. And also, when we speak about agroforestry, we recommend having trees that can coexist with your plants without competition or minimal competition, so that you can still have production. One of the species that we really recommend out there is the Grevillea robusta. But also, we also recommend having fruit trees, because you'll plant the fruit trees, and as after a period of time, you get to harvest the fruits, and also they earn an income to the farmer. Visiting farmers, various farmers, as I had earlier shown in the previous videos, but also show here some of the photos. Some of the farmers have adopted having nurseries in their fields, where they have fruit trees, where they have beneficial trees, and every time a season begins, they would come into groups and also plant trees in their farms. And even when we say planting trees in the farms, even as you plant the main crop of the season, we not only recommend it for large-scale farmers, but also for small-scale farmers. They can still plant trees, because majorly we want to capture, or rather cap, this climate crisis. Farmers also need to be in this discussion. They need to be enlightened, as some of the causes of climate change are majorly also caused by the farmers, because of the farming activities that we have when we talk about the greenhouse gases and so on, and greenhouse gases emissions. Having said this, we will continue with this discussion and just have experts and also have passionate farmers, agronomists. What are they thinking about this? Because we are now experiencing long droughts, we are now experiencing floods, we are now experiencing failed seasons, and that is frustrating to the farmer. We recommend irrigation, but few of the farmers are adopting the irrigation system. When we say about having conservation agriculture, we're still in the process of enlightening our farmers. Information is key. Let the farmers know that climate change is here with us, and how do we deal with it? Because we may have very many failed seasons, but that does not mean we do not need to plow our lands, we do not need to put our seeds in the ground and also take care of the crops till harvesting. We can um, still bear the dream of having a food secure nation. Now that food insecurity is a major here with us, it's still a battle that we need to feed our masses, we need to feed our population, our growing population every day, whereas agriculture is still threatened. Beyond being threatened by climate change, the agriculture, and also cutting down of trees, another discussion that we need to have also is about the concrete discussion, where productive agricultural land are no longer protected, and we find them being replaced by buildings, being replaced by beautiful malls here and there. And that means the space that was meant for agriculture gets deteriorated or gets smaller by day, because we no longer conserve, or we no longer protect these agricultural productive areas. As we continue with this discussion now, and also in the coming series, having discussions on our various pages, feel free to also be partake of this. So that's it that I had for today. Till next time, remember to stay blessed and productive. Bye bye.